NBA players with the most to prove are usually at crucial turning points for their legacies or careers, generally speaking, and in a previous video, I covered a few NBA players with the most to prove for this year. In today's video, I want to talk about a few more NBA players with a lot to prove this upcoming season. The link to the first video is in the description below in case you missed it, and without further ado, let's get to it. Morant, without question, is one of the best rising stars in the NBA, and this has earned him the 5-year, $200 million contract that will go into effect this year. The problem is, this upcoming season, is facing a 25-game suspension for his recent string of incidents. And yes, they brought in Marcus Smart to establish the veteran guard leadership, but mind you, this is all while the Grizzlies are coming off their two most successful seasons since has been a part of the team. Both seasons in which they finished as the second seed in the West. At this point, has probably lost more opportunities business-wise than he's gained since his latest incident, but the bottom line is, has to decide if he's going to be an NBA superstar or if he just wants to be part of the 4K trade and the street debauchery that comes with all that. This year will mark his 5th year in the league, and I think Morant has a lot to prove because he's brought a huge controversial cloud over himself and the entire Grizzlies organization with his latest incidents. There's no question on how well he'll play once he returns, so to me, the question really is, will he show growth in terms of his behavior and leadership? I'm rooting for him, and it'd be nice to see him stay out of trouble at the very least this year, because I think from there, everything else could take care of itself. At the end of the day, right now, he's only 24, and most of what's got him in trouble is a part of being young and growing up, but then again, the recent display of patterns of behavior in his incidents suggests there's more than youthful ignorance behind the choices he's made. But this season may be the time is ready to show us he's grown up. Either way, Ja's impact on the Grizzlies this year will be a huge determining factor on how he's viewed amongst other NBA stars, and I'm excited to see how and the Grizzlies bounce back this year. In my opinion, Victor Wembanyama is the only rookie with a ton to prove this upcoming year. I normally don't set immediate expectations on rookies in particular, but considering all the hype surrounding Wemby, I think he has to be mentioned. Victor has a lot to prove this year because of how skilled he is for his size and because he's been talked about as potentially being the best prospect of all time in the sport of basketball or in any sport generally speaking. This has led to a ton of questions, excitement, criticism early on, and as a result, I think even Wemby understands he has a lot to prove. Now, I don't expect the Spurs to make much noise in the standings in Wemby's first year just due to how young he is and how young their team is overall. But I do expect Wembanyama to answer the challenge and establish himself as one of the best rising stars in the NBA pretty much immediately. This first year may not definitively determine how great he can be eventually, but I think it will determine how everyone watching will perceive Wemby as a player going forward. Ben Simmons. The question that comes to mind isn't directly related to maturity or absurd expectations. The question with Ben is, will he ever be an impactful NBA player again? Or is he dedicated to putting in the work that it'll take to get back to that level? I'm a fan of comeback stories and great comebacks in general, so I'm rooting for Ben Simmons, but he has a lot to prove this upcoming season because ever since the Eastern Conference semifinals, he's faced relentless criticism, right or wrong. And last year as a part of the Nets, he even had Kyrie and KD to play off of, and he only played 42 games and sat out the rest with a back injury. We can make a case that the reason Kyrie's in Dallas and KD's in Phoenix today is because of the uncertainty surrounding the health and mentality of Ben Simmons and his potential on the basketball court. Fast forward 1 year later, and the latest reports are that Ben is healthy and ready to make a comeback, but what does that even truly mean? Especially when you take into consideration all the time he had off or took off in the last 2 seasons. I like what Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson are doing over in Brooklyn already, and I think Ben Simmons, although limited, can really help this young Brooklyn Nets team if he has the mindset to impact his team like he did in his first few seasons with the Sixers. Personally, I don't think he's redeemed himself from his horrible play in the final games of the series versus the Hawks in the 2021 Eastern Conference playoffs. And leading a young team of versatile talent this year with no expectations like the Nets is like a two-way slashing facilitator, could really reset the narrative for Ben Simmons and get his career back on track. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, but before I wrap, I want to know what you think. Who has the most to prove in the upcoming 2023-2024 season and why? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.